All right, time to analyze some of the major stories coming from the business world. And we have joining us Charles Fakroha, IBrandTV senior analyst. Thank you for joining us, Charles.
Thank you for having me, Amabolale.
Apparently, you're being hit with all of the cash crunch in the society. That's why we don't have you in the studio.
Honestly, it's really terrible. I was stranded. I had to come back home.
So sad. We hope that all of this would go away very soon, especially as we see the elections coming close. But let's begin with, of course, the cash crunch in the society. The Lagos State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice Moyosore Onigbanjo has said that the position of the Supreme Court on the Naira redesign of the Central Bank of Nigeria remains valid. And then she said that the rejection of the old notes by some persons and institutions in the country was contrary to the stand of the Apex Court, and that all of these petrol stations, the banks and others who were rejecting them would be or could be prosecuted. One of the reasons you're not here is because the old notes are no longer accepted and you're having challenges with getting the new ones. But right here we see this legal luminary saying that those who are rejecting the notes would be or could be prosecuted, saying that the old notes, according to the Supreme Court ruling, should still be legal tender. What are your thoughts?
Yes, when I listened to the president's statement yesterday, though not being a lawyer, but I just knew that the man has just told us that his total disregard for one arm of government, which for me is very sad. You know. Now, looking at the practicalities on ground, yesterday, virtually people stopped collecting the old Naira notes, and as of this morning, I was a victim of the situation. Practically, I saw it and I was almost crying. After managing to get out of my estate and trying to get a vehicle, straight to beggar, I was told that if you don't have a new Naira note, please, to avoid trouble, don't enter. It was quite embarrassing. I had to go back home.
And this was a commercial bus, right?
Yes, the commercial bus and they load straight. Not that they are just on the road, they go straight to the park, they just load beggar, and they were the officials were announcing, if you don't have the new Naira note, please don't enter. So you can see, this is contrary to what you have just read now, the Supreme Court position. And of course, the Lagos State Attorney General has made it clear, also listening to it. So you can see now that what the president has done is trying to encourage total anarchy. And that is why Nigerians are surprised and confused. Nobody knows what to do. There are some people, okay, they can now go to central bank to change their money. And when you go there, they'll be chaos. It is obvious that we are going to hold the President Muhammadu Buhari accountable for this action. He has lawyers. We have an attorney of the Federation. Don't they know that the Supreme Court is to give a hearing on Wednesday? Make a pronouncement. They already make a pronouncement. The Apex Court of the land. It is very sad. And for me, this current APC government, this current president has shown that he does not want peace in the country.
But what's the way forward? Right now, no access to the new note. The president has said that the 200 Naira remains legal tender. The Supreme Court said the old notes, 200, 500, 1,000, should remain legal tender until they sit again February 22nd. But the president has said till April 10, 200 Naira, old 200 Naira should run concurrently with the new 200, 500 and 1,000 Naira. There seems to be a lot of confusion. What do you think should be done about this?
Yes, it's a big confusion. I think first of all, the present government, the leader, the president should have been patient before this pronouncement of the 200 Naira till April 10th, because there is an existing Supreme Court
interim injunction
statement or whatever what the lawyers will call it. There is a pronouncement. You should have been patient, and after that hearing, then they can now go ahead to do whatever they want to do. Of course, in line with the Supreme Court hearing. So the way forward, I would just appeal to the average Nigerians just to remain calm is quite difficult. If somebody had come to appeal to me while I was stranded, I don't think I would listen to that person. But on the second thought, I have to take it emotionally. I said, okay, yes, calm down. It has happened. It is our reaction, our attitude to what has happened now. So our appeal to the young, senior Nigerians, negotiators, around all Nigerians, to remain calm, be patient. The issue is very serious. People can no longer speak very well. People can no longer move. In fact, I know there were couples of fracas even around Lagos.
Mile 12.
Even mile 2, even first gate, close to me, there was some fracas there early this morning. So we should just be patient and be law-abiding, remain calm, so that we don't allow other hoodlums to take advantage of the situation and cause
very well said. Well, to all the stories coming from the oil and gas sector, Nigeria's pumped additional 31.1 million barrels of crude oil within the space of 4 months following improvement in security in the country's oil-producing Niger Delta region, according to the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. And the latest data from the organization's monthly oil market report for February 2022 showed that the average crude oil output from Nigeria in the third quarter of 2022 was 0.999 million barrels per day, according to these figures. What's your reaction to this?
Yes, it is expected that these figures, yes, fine. There is some kind of increment in our production. It is good if we try to sustain it and see that, first of all, this is one of our main revenue earners. We should do all it takes to ensure that the crude flows and it gets to the proper channel. We're able to meet our OPEC production and even lobby to see how we can increase more of our OPEC, of our quota, so that we can earn more revenue. But at the same time, as we are doing that, we can ensure that all the stakeholders are carried along, so we sustain this our production despite the insecurity, and of course, we need this revenue at this time in our nation's history to ensure that enough revenue is earned. At the same time, government should be able to finance some of these transition programs, and of course, we want to have a very peaceful and credible election.
What impact do you think this will have, especially as we're looking at the gradual phase out of subsidy payment come April 2023?
Well, the subsidy regime, everybody has agreed, is a done deal. Now, once the subsidy is off, then availability of the product is also key for that subsidy to really work. Because once the product is available, and market forces are allowed to determine the prices in the different parts of the country, we will see an improvement. And of course, the money that will be spent from that subsidy can go a long way in trying to reduce some of the suffering that the average Nigerians are experiencing. And of course, we also afford government, to have enough funds to finance other projects. So for me, it is good. But I would just advise for the incoming government, please, the president should not, I repeat, should not be the substantive minister for petroleum resources.
But who has the power to control or see that that's being affected?
Yes.
If it's constitutional, is that... Yes, go ahead.
The members of the National Assembly, and of course, once the elections are concluded, our president-elect, then people like us will start lobbying, will start talking in the press, will start making the noise that yes, because the incoming president has a lot of work to do. So for him to now have the Ministry of Petroleum Resources, so his portfolio will be important. So we will not want him to follow and make the mistake of this outgoing government. So we want a substantive minister for petroleum and also a state minister. The substantive minister is different from the commander-in-chief. So we begin to make that advocacy as soon as the new government comes in.
Okay. To other stories now, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, and Nigerian banks may delay payment of foreign currency loans due to scarce dollar resources, according to Moody's Investor Service. Rated local lenders have placed about $10.4 billion with the central bank in the form of derivative transactions, including swaps and forwards. And according to all of this analysis, the CBN's dollar obligations is about 1/3 of the country's foreign exchange reserves of $37 billion as of January, stating that the Apex Bank has had to ration dollar supply to the economy to reduce pressure on the reserves, which declined from $40 billion in December after the country failed to take advantage of higher oil prices to boost output. How worrisome is the situation?
Yes, it's worrisome because everything boils down to our revenue generation and management of our foreign reserves. You can see, yes, and I agree with that, and those figures, those statistics, yes. Even we saw last year, we even pay the airline operators, this foreign airline operators, to pay the money they have won, they have earned, is a problem. The government was not trying to ration dollar. Yes, what we need to do is to increase our revenue. And the only way we can increase our revenue is to increase our oil production, because that seems to be one of our major foreign earners. At the same time, we can also exploit other non-oil sectors so that we can earn more foreign exchange, be able to make our dollar obligations we have with the international community. That is the only way to increase revenue, not only depending on the oil resources, but other revenue sources. We need to sustain it for us to have a viable economy and the same time enhance the value of our Naira.
But wouldn't this affect our debt portfolio, the fact that we have an increasing foreign debt, stock?
Yes, obviously it has already increased our debt stock, our debt portfolio. It has increased. Then you see, we are taking this debt. We know the amount we have borrowed. So it's to see how we can increase our revenue and begin to not only service this debt, but see how we come up with the payment plan and begin to pay this amount of revenue, because we have increased our revenue to now go to payment of our debt. We cannot run away from it. We need to pay our debt as a responsible country in the committee of nations. We need to make moves. We need to have plans to pay our debt, whether we like it or not.
Well, farmers in the country under the aegis of the United Integrated Farmers Association of Nigeria, that's UNIFAN, have scored President Muhammadu Buhari's regime low in tackling the nation's current food crisis. They're saying that there has not been enough serious intervention in ensuring that Nigeria has food sufficiency since the current government came on board 8 years ago. What are your thoughts?
Well, the government came in around their mantra to improve agriculture. And,
eat what we grow and grow what we eat.
Hello?
Eat what we grow and grow what we eat. That was the mantra.
Exactly. And we all, bought into that mantra. We loved it. We supported the government. And we try to encourage them. But at the end of the day, it's obvious that in terms of implementing some of these policies, the government has failed. Not only failed, it has seemed to be failing, and it has failed and failed woefully. Because even the rice pyramid, whatever that they showed us, we all then discovered that these were not real. All the money spent for agricultural improvement and development were not seeing the effect. Yes, to tell us there were issues. Issue of flooding, issue of accessing forest to improve agriculture were all there. But that is an excuse. I have always maintained that we have the arable land. It is just a matter of government deploying and using innovation, agricultural techniques, improvement in agriculture to be deployed to our farmers so that they can make use of this and get the yield, optimal yield for hectares of land being produced. Not only arable crops, also livestock fishery. It has shown that yes, the government had the intention, but in terms of implementing some of these things to achieve the desired results, we have failed peacefully. However, it is not too late. I'm just employing the incoming government, the new government that will be coming in, to learn from the mistakes of this government and see that agriculture becomes a priority in terms of our economic development. Because
Indeed.
Nigeria has been known to maintain our economy. Forget oil. Agriculture, it should be our mainstay in this current dispensation.
As it was in the past. Well, thank you so much for your robust analysis, Charles Fakroha, IBrandTV senior analyst.
Thank you. I hope you make some new parameters available to me. Thank you.
Well, we'll talk to Godwin Emefiele about that. Well, still to come after the break, markets breadth closed positive as Triple G led 17 gainers and 15 losers, topped by Courtville at the end of the day session. Details after this break. Stay with us.